I'm Skullduggery.
And I'm Boonedoggle, and today we're going to be jibber-jabbering about Helluva Boss. What episode number is this? I forget.
Episode 6.
Episode 6, Season 2, Oops. With our lovely guest, Jinxy.
Heyo, I'm glad to be back. Thank you once again for having me.
You back. We
Sweet.
love you, man.
Aw, love you guys too, you're great.
Alright,
so you wanted me to go first, or, oh.
Yes, that's the
Yes.
plan.
Sick.
We're going to shut our faces.
We're gonna shut up and let you talk.
Okay, sounds good. Well, no, wait, no, that sounds wrong. You know what I mean. It sounds like a good plan. You guys have good points, that's all I'm trying to say. Like, anyway, yeah, I know there's been a bit of debate about the episode, but overall, I really liked it. I'm looking at my notes right now, and overall, I really enjoyed Asmodeus's voice. That was the first thing that caught me. Like, I know we heard a little bit of it in the Aussie episode, but I really liked his voice, and what was even better was seeing the relationship between Fizz and him. It was actually really sweet. I love how it's like a very domestic, household relationship kind of thing. I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah, you good.
But anyway, I really like the parallel between Blitz and Stolas' relationship and these guys. Like, is basically everything they're not. They communicate, they're very open about how they feel. Especially towards the end, where Asmodeus is, he doesn't really care that the fact that servants are watching him and Frizz. It's very sweet. And it was also really cool to see Striker and Asmodeus back on the scene. Even if they neutered Striker in the last episode, he's much more threatening in this. I remember in particular, how when they were both in the cage, Blitz and Fizz, and like Striker was hanging around and he was like breathing down Frizz's neck. That was like, it was very interesting. It reminded me a lot of like Western energy. And seeing how uncomfortable that made Frizz was kind of interesting, because it leans more into the fact that he's not nearly as into violence as much as Blitz is. And you can see that throughout the whole episode, but I particularly noticed that there. Let me see. When they're actually in the cage, Blitz and Frizz, it's funny to hear them talk because there's a lot of tension. But I particularly like how Blitzo is like kind of complaining about Stolas and how he's always like complimenting him, laughing at his jokes, etc. And Frizz says like a sarcastic comment that's very clear that he's like trying to hint at the fact Stolas actually likes Blitz. But Blitzo is like completely immune to it, and he actually takes it like he's serious. And I thought that was very nice. That was a very nice little touch. However, I'm a little bit ruffled. I don't know what you would say, ruffled maybe, that they still haven't, Blitz and Stolas haven't talked about it, or at least shown like what they're, I don't know, how they communicated with each other afterwards, even if it was negative after the Aussie episode. I feel like that would have made this episode a lot better, even if it was like a very dysfunctional way they brought it up, where Blitz just shuts it down all over again, and he doesn't want to talk about it. That would have been interesting. I would have liked to see that. The other gripe I had about the episode was, I like how with Striker they've been building him up to be like a whole supremacy thing between the classes, and he's like the supremacist of the imps. Like, he wants them to kill off all the higher-ups. But I do like that in a way, but at the same time I'm like, it still seemed like a fairly new topic, and I feel like we don't know anything really about how hell works, and I feel like there's a very old complaint that many people have had. Yeah, I guess the other thing I wanted to mention was it was nice to see how everything that happened in Blitzo's past between him and Frizz, and how he clearly had a thing for him in the past and clearly still in the present. And it was really nice to see oh, why Barbie Wire hates him and just why everyone hates him, essentially. But it was really nice to see him actually have a happy ending and how it was a genuine mistake. The emotional moments through the gunfire was really funny. I actually really enjoyed that because it was like a nice contrast. But the other thing was, since Frizz was an entertainer, it made sense for him to like sing that song. But they're really not songwriters in the studio. They really aren't. I really didn't like the song as usual. But it made sense why he did it, but I would have liked it if he did like maybe a comedy routine or something. Or like for Frizz. That would have been, I figure, a much more fitting thing for him instead of a song. Because it made the villains look really idiotic when they're just kind of staring at him. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, especially since these villains, they're not like the Cherubs or Chaz the Shark. They're not stupid. They're not brain dead. Like, this is Moxie's dad and Stryker. I kind of expected them to be a bit more clever and catch on, so I feel like the comedy routine might have been a bit better in the sense that he'd be engaging with them more. But yeah, overall, I liked this episode, and that's pretty much all my notes. So, yeah, that was me. You guys' turn.
Those were all, I liked a lot of your points. You made excellent points.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Did you want to go first or me?
You could go first.
Okay. Written down. The biggest problem for me was the plot's convenience because Crimson's ransom message to Ozzy makes you think that his plan was premeditated. Crimson's lawyer with the mountain of paperwork makes you think it was premeditated. And you're really telling me that it wasn't premeditated? Crimson kidnapping Fizzerolli and holding him for ransom to gain all of Ozzy's assets was just chanced upon?
Yeah, fair point.
Instead, we get Stryker in the middle of an interview with Crimson, singing his own praises about his body count. Crimson to only consider hiring him until, through some amazing stroke of luck, Stryker looks out the window and sees Fizz, who just so happens to be brawling with Blitz outside of Crimson's building. Excuse me, sorry everyone.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah, that was one of the biggest gripes for me, and also, okay. It has now been canonically, confirmed that by Stryker that only a week has passed since the events of Western Energy, even though a full week has passed in Unhappy Campers. And the events of Unhappy Campers happens after the events of Western Energy. Forgive me, but I'm just genuinely confused about the timeline here. If Stryker had, as he quote Stryker, if Stryker had a royal on the ropes just last week, then what the hell is Stolas doing out of the hospital? I know he's a demon prince, but I would imagine that the degree of stab wounds he received from Stryker would take some time to heal, and I don't mean in just 1 week.
Dude,
yeah.
I completely forgot about that. The show made me completely forget about that. I'm gonna add a -1.
No, actually. She literally watched the scene again and she's like, wait, he said a week. I was like, you're kidding me. Like how is Stolas walking? He broke, one of his legs was broken.
Yeah.
And no one mentions that he was in the hospital at all, not even Blitz. Ozzy doesn't seem to notice, and you think this would have been really like big news that someone like
He's
Stolas
like, how are
was
you
in the
feeling?
hospital. Yeah, I know, nothing.
I heard you were in the hospital. Like, nothing. Nobody...
Nothing. And he's just walking around all fine and dandy. I'm like, how?
Yeah, okay. And, my other gripe, here, let me get it out. What was Blitz doing in the Greed Ring? If memory serves me correctly, I recall Blitz, Moxie, and Millie getting a helicopter escort to the Greed Ring. So why go all the way to the Greed Ring just for some coffee when I'm pretty sure that they have some coffee that tastes like piss in the Wrath Ring? And this is where I think this was just a way to have Blitz in the episode by literally having him thrown at Fizzerolli's feet.
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
It's like also I definitely do want like I love the parts of where actually Fizzarelli and Blitz are talking. I love the like a lot of people like you know can have their own opinions and stuff, and that's great and stuff. But I liked how it flowed of how they were talking to each other and they found out things of why. You know, that he feels that Blitz was always jealous of him and stuff, and Blitz probably was a little jealous and stuff, but that outweighed because he still cared about Fizz. And, so, fucking forgetting what I was gonna say. Anyway, the point is when, like, a lot of people feel that that they forgave each other too early, but, I don't actually feel that way at all. Fizz actually does point out and stuff, he's like, if you had just visited me once in the hospital, that would have been enough. He just wanted Blitz to come and see him. He felt abandoned when he saw, from his point of view, he saw Blitz running off. There's a reason why Blitz runs off, but he felt it was running away from him on purpose. And then when your best friend doesn't come to see you in the hospital at all, or so you thought, he felt, that's why he was so bitter all these years. That's why they both were so bitter, because then he found out, he said, well, someone told me, you know, we don't know who that mystery person is.
We don't know
He's
who
like,
these mystery people are.
No, we don't. We don't know who actually kept him away from each other. He's like, they told me you didn't want to see me. He's like, no, I never said that. He's like, and no one told me you came to visit me. So I just really want to know who did do that. A lot of people have theories and stuff, and I guess, yeah, a good one could be is actually, Blitz's father could have been the one that had, kept a rift between them, driving it further, because, you know, he's always shown he hated his son. Seriously, who gives another fucking kid that is not your kid a birthday card that says, I wish you were my son, where your son can see it? Like, oh my god.
Buxo's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he really is. So I wouldn't be surprised if he is actually the one who maybe did, you know, keep a rift between them and tell him that, yeah, he doesn't want to see you.
Wait.
That's a fair point.
His name is Buxo?
Yeah.
Like, his full name is Cash Buxo.
His name is, Cash Buxo. Okay.
Yeah, Cash Buxo.
I love it that the names are puns.
Yeah.
No,
It
That's
sounds
his
like a
name.
My Little Pony name.
doesn't it?
Like, it sounds
I know.
so, like, what was Diamond Tiara's dad's name?
I don't
Oh,
know.
Filthy Rich.
I was
Okay,
just about to say Filthy Rich.
yeah, Filthy Rich.
I was about to say Filthy Rich.
His given name is Filthy.
And didn't he show he was not as bad as the mother? Okay, off topic, but that's
Yeah,
the point.
yeah, okay, sorry, off topic.
Like, okay, why would that name would
Cash
he not be as
Buxo.
bad? Okay, getting back to the point. Yeah, that's Blitz's dad's name, and he was always an asshole father, okay? He sucks.
Because, Barbie Wire. Yeah, puns.
Okay, yeah, but still, yeah, so I liked it and stuff that it actually boiled down that it was just miscommunication for both of them, that there's been like 15 years of literally hating each other and feeling hurt that the other felt that, you know, that he doesn't want to see me, like that's what they both felt like.
Some fights can be chopped
And
down to simple
sometimes, yeah.
miscommunication, and that's fine.
And that is kind of like, okay, and a lot of people say, well, why should he forgive him if he did this to him? Well, it was an accident. He didn't. Like, he was upset because he's seen that card, and then
He didn't.
I think in his mind, because he was about to.
Can I hop on this for a second?
He was about to admit his. Let me just get this out.
Sorry.
Okay. Just go on.
Sorry.
Okay. I think he was also just about. Yeah, that was a love letter, and he had a flower. So I'm pretty sure he's about to maybe confess feelings there to Fizz. I think he's seen that, and I think it was around the time of, this is just honestly theory now, that maybe this is where he felt like Blitz has always had a problem that he does have like
He always has
loathing for
he's
each
always had an inadequacy complex.
He has a self-loathing for himself, and maybe he just, at that time when he's seen that, it wasn't him looking jealous about that. It was a look of, I'm not
Forlorn?
good enough. Huh?
Forlorning.
Yeah. I think he just felt like I'm not good enough, and he kind of went to go probably cry somewhere. I mean, he had tears.
Can I say what I want to say?
Okay,
It's
fine.
very important.
Look, oh, is it?
Yes, yes, it plays into this.
Fine. Go ahead.
Can I ask Jinxy?
Of course.
Silly?
Can you ask what?
Can I ask Jinxy Silly?
Yes.
Did that look like Wally holding the cake?
Yes, it did.
Was that okay? I was like, do you think? I know that Wally was he with them? Do you think Wally was with the family in the circus?
I mean, yeah, he could. Well, he actually was working at Lululand, like, so he's been there too for a long time.
Yeah, I think that was a young Wally.
Yeah, I think he's been there at the same time too and stuff because a lot of people pointed out that he worked at Lululand.
So technically, it wasn't Blitz's fault. It was Wally, and he's been keeping it into himself.
Yeah, well, it was like the thing. Like, okay, I sound like Blitz.
He deliberately
I sound like Blitz
tripped
here.
and dropped that cake with those birthday
I sound like
candles.
Blitz here when I say it was an accident. Well, it actually was. Like, he did not. He was upset and he shoved his way through someone. I mean,
Wally.
Well,
Shut up. Anyway, you shut up with Wally, you fool. Okay, but
I like him.
but yeah, I liked how. Okay, that sounds wrong. I liked how the fire started, but you know what I mean. Like, it was an accident. It wasn't. It was like it was truly an accident.
Let's just cue some Billy Joel.
Oh God, no. That's enough of you. It was really sad because like somehow they had fireworks there too, and that was for Fizz's birthday. What a day!
He's gonna have a birthday
What a day
bash.
for this to happen. So, do you think he relives his trauma every time his birthday comes?
Oh God.
I'm just saying,
Oh
like.
God, that did happen on his birthday.
It happened on his birthday. Okay, but the point is, so that happened on his birthday. He got literally blown up by fireworks that fucking blew his horns off, so he doesn't have them anymore. I think people even, it does look like the horns can never grow back because they got like.
Well, it's because they're like
cauterized.
made out of like.
But they got cauterized. You've seen like the horns burning like on the top.
I just like see it as an extension of bone.
Kinda, but I don't think they could grow back. Or
I don't think it's like a Hellboy rules.
I have no idea. I see someone saying that maybe they can never grow back. I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't think they're like lizards, even though some of them are like lizards.
Now fucking our brother's gonna be pissed if we don't get the Hellboy rules down. I think Hellboy deliberately keeps them filed down.
Yeah, well, someone did say that Fizz probably had to file them down because they were broken off at different well, not angles, but different parts. Like, one was longer than the other, so I'm pretty sure he did file the rest down to be symmetrical. Anyway, getting back to my point here and stuff, so it was like, I liked how it happened that it was miscommunication. I really did like that. And, like, a lot of people do say, well, why should he forgive him so easily, or he did it too easily, but he does point out, and I just want to talk about this, that he does say that, well, I'm not broken, and it is true. Fizz is not broken. He has actually, sure, he may have not had any of his limbs anymore or horns,
He's a
but...
survivor.
Okay, but the point is, he has robotic enhancement and stuff. He still makes it in life. He's still popular. He's
still relevant.
He's still relevant.
He's actually very famous.
This is something like this is the perils of Blitz. Blitz, like, it's just, you know.
Blitz doesn't seem to have
Blitz
like a
didn't
very
get
successful business.
No. Well, yeah, I think it's successful enough. But the point is, Blitz wanted this life too. He wanted to be popular like this. He wanted to do what Fizzarelli did.
He said he wanted to be like a circus/hitman.
Yeah, and it's kind of, so it's a good point what Jinxy made about the relationship stuff because, yeah, Ozzy and Fizz's relationship is like Stolas and him, except it is
There's
better.
parallels.
Yeah, it is better because they can actually communicate. They're open with one another. So, like,
But
so
like,
Fizz has
like
made
you,
it
like
through.
I want to talk about the point you made about people like not like being very happy about him easily forgiving him. But you know what haunted me, and I just want to talk about the voice acting in that moment.
Oh,
where,
I loved it.
It haunted me just the way Blitz just wailed, "I do care."
Well, because Fizz is like,
So
you
much
didn't care,
emotion.
ever.
He
Like,
says, "I do care."
like, that's...
It hit, man.
He's always
It hit me
cared.
to my deepest core where it made me cry.
Well, yeah, it actually had to get, Blitz to talk about his feelings because
He's
you know,
still
everyone has told him
constipated.
before that he doesn't care or he's an asshole and stuff, and then it hurts because he does feel guilt about this accident. Even if it was an accident, he does take accountability for it because
I do like that he did say
yeah,
that it was my
'cause-
fault.
well, it technically in a way it is,
I
but
mean,
not in a way you expect.
I don't think he expected like him accidentally
It did
shoving
kill
Wally.
it killed a bunch of people, and presumably it does imply that his mother died from this fire.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So, like, I can understand why he does say, he's like, yeah, I'd hate me too and stuff. That's why he has so much guilt and stuff, because he does feel like it's his fault and stuff about it.
That's true.
And it's like, yeah, so I can understand why that gets to him and stuff with his he's like, and you left me, and like, he leaves for a reason. He was running off to his mother.
Yeah, the mama.
yeah, so yeah, the voice acting was great, and I just, I love that.
Alright, what do you have to add to that, Jinx?
Yeah, no, sorry,
Hang on, I'm sorry.
No, you shut your dirty mouth, girl. You let the Jinxy bird talk.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, the reason I was being quiet is I wanted to let you guys have your thing, but yeah, you raised some very good points. I agree. The voice acting was very emotional, and I love the fact that you point out the fact that he was running off to check on his mom. That was a really, like, in the flashback. That proves how much Blitz's mom meant to him, obviously. And let me see. He brought some good points. I wrote some notes down. Just a second. Yeah, you were mentioning, where was it? Yeah, everything you said about like how it felt very plot convenient. That is true. I kind of noticed that, but I was like, it's Helluva Boss, so I figure I'll give it a break for that. But yeah, that was in the back of my head.
Can't fully blame them for making it more convenient because, how would they meet either way?
Maybe it could have been he met him at that contest rehearsal that he was going to.
I guess, but
That would have made more sense, maybe.
I'm sure there could have been something more, but
I just really felt like they just wanted to just introduce Blitz saying something funny and offensive, getting kicked out.
Yeah, that agreed. That's a good point.
Classic Blitz being Blitz.
Well, I mean, he's genuinely kind of doing that at the start of the episode, except it's about coffee and some random waitress.
Yeah.
Let me see. There was one other thing.
Go on.
Yeah, you were saying when they were mentioning how like, oh, I wanted to talk to you, but you couldn't, like, they both couldn't contact each other because basically something was in the way. I was genuinely confused by what they meant. At first I thought it was like Asmodeus, right? Like maybe he was trying to protect Frizz in one way or another. But yeah, maybe it would be interesting if they ever clarify that and if it's the father. That's a very good point. I never thought about that.
Yeah, let's move on to like Osmodeus' personality in this, because he was like very just seems like a really chill, nice dude.
Yeah, I did.
But just something that did kind of just like hang up because
I couldn't
when
get
we
over
first were introduced to him, he was kind of an asshole, along with Fizzaroli.
Yeah, they were straight up buttholes.
And I wanna just like also because it's like he said that it was a week had just passed, like last week, so Stolas is now out of the hospital. I'm just like, Stolas, you know you love Blitz, but why do you want to give someone who left you for dead, who didn't give a shit that you were kidnapped, a fucking crystal?
Like, yeah, I understand what he was doing for Luna, but that
I know you feel guilty about, making him feel like sexually abused. I think that's too harsh of a term. I don't sexually harassed. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Making Blitz feel sexually harassed. Like, I just don't understand. He's out of the hospital and he just wants to give him a crystal. That'll maybe make sure that he'll come rescue me next time I'm kidnapped.
No, well, I guess maybe, but I also feel like he's trying to show Blitz that he's not trying to, like, it's not just a business relationship and he cares more about him. He's not trying to keep him tethered to him.
Yeah, and also, it's kind of Ozzy's and Fizzaroli's fault. Like, they were the ones that drove a wedge between them.
Oh, they had fun that night.
They were horribly just humiliating them. Like, he's like, Stolas, my heart bleeds for you. And like, your heart bleeds for him. Like, you fucking
for now
fucking caused it. You fucking outed him in your club.
Yeah, it was funny.
And he said that he snuck in, even though the guy who does like the red velvet, fucking.
They just got in. No one snuck in there.
Isn't that why Blitz called him? Is because
because he was
like a royal, so he's like, I need someone with status to get me into this club, so that's why he called him. And then the guy with the velvet rope let them in. Yeah. They didn't sneak in.
No.
He was intimidated by Stolas at that time. And then he's like, Ozzy just like points him out, and he's like, "Oh, damn! You throw in your face that you cheated on your wife, you had a kid, you had it all, and you're throwing it over, throwing it all away to fuck this in."
An affair, yeah.
And then now suddenly he's a 180, and he's like really nice to Stolas.
He's like super civil.
nice, cordial, and like my heart. And he literally says, "My heart bleeds for you." I'm like, does it though?
It's like, yeah, like I do like his character. Don't get me wrong, I like
Ozzy and Fizz.
I like him talking about.
It was just a hard pill to swallow after seeing him be such a huge douche.
Yeah, and it was nice to see
Ozzy's
that he
episode.
actually cares, just besides being like the fucking, king of lust, prince of lust, or whatever, and stuff, that he does care. He's like, I don't do that, love potion shit.
I don't do
He
that
actually
love
does.
potion bullshit.
I mean, he actually does care. I mean, he's like, I don't know. He just points out that it should be more lust and shit. But he doesn't, I guess, mind love, because he didn't really shit on Stolas for being in love.
No.
But yeah.
But he did kind of shit on him at
Well,
his
yeah,
club.
yeah.
Shit on him.
Maybe he was just.
I don't know. He's like, he's not
Maybe
shitting
him
on him in
and
this
Fizz-
episode, but
I don't know,
he
maybe him
took
and
a fat
Fizz because-
shit on him.
I don't know.
And Ozzy then outed him in front of a bunch of people.
Maybe it was because Moxie sung a love song and Osmodius can't do that.
They were horrible to Millie and Moxie too. Ruined their
I
anniversary.
don't know. Maybe it was because they can't be open about their. I don't know. That
We
could
can't
be
be
a good
open
one.
about our love to the
So we
public.
will
So
be
let me
assholes to people
let me
that
take it out
care.
on this nice couple, and let me take it out on Stolas over here.
Yeah, because I'm with the imp too. Technically, no one knows that, but actually, no. In the episode, you do see a lot of people are speculating.
Like,
that
if you
they're
think about
together.
it, like, fucking Ozzy outed them all in front of, like, even high-profile people because Verosika was there and Wally.
Yeah. Although
And,
they were,
and he embarrassed him in front of his two co-workers, Millie and Moxie.
yeah. No,
He embarrassed them both in front of each other because Stolas was embarrassed, Blitz was embarrassed, and yeah, I'm still going on this. What's wrong
I know.
with me?
They were huge. Well, I guess let's just boil it down to that. They were huge dicks there, and it is kind of funny to see, Ozzy actually civil.
He wasn't just civil. He was a super sweetheart man.
I know. Okay, I loved how he just wants to I love seeing that he does not care for the money
His
and
assets,
status.
he's just
and stuff.
gonna
He did
throw
not
it all
care.
away.
He didn't go well, maybe I shouldn't sign this over and stuff. No, he actually cares.
Oh no.
That's his.
My dildos.
He's like, no, that's my man.
Do I give away all my dildos?
He's like, that's my man, and I'm gonna save him. I don't care.
Or do I keep my man?
He's like, I know, it wasn't so do I keep my,
So,
my business
Can
money
I have at least one?
hour to think about this?
No,
What?
he's like, can I at least keep one dildo? Can I keep
Dude,
one?
okay, there was a butt plug in his office, he could keep that.
You have this butt plug here, that's yours to keep that. Oh, okay.
Okay, but I already have it in my office. Okay.
That was a gift from my mother.
From my mother. Okay. So yeah, no, I just really like showing that he did care, he didn't care what he had to do to get Fizz back and stuff, and
The
part
love was unconditional. Conditions.
yeah, that was great. There was no, oh my gosh, I have to think about my business and shit and how I look to people and stuff.
Yeah,
Get my man back.
Yeah, character growth, and then he's like,
And then I love the part
At the end, he's like,
where he's like,
I'll
I'm going to
fucking
end
break
your
them.
life to the guy, and then Fizz comes in, he's like,
Fizzy.
it was hilarious to see such a big guy then go like this. He's like, Fizzy. Goes
Like his
in.
little hands are just
I know, and he's all just
Fanning.
running over there,
flailing.
girlishly. I don't know.
That was adorable.
That was adorable, and then just them both just so cooing at each other at the end was
Cooing,
adorable.
giggling, and then they're gonna both fuck up that
Yeah, then they
lawyer.
could be the murder husbands.
the
there.
murder husbands.
As they kill that guy because they're like, you see in our love, you must die.
You've seen our love, you must die.
No.
That's on a plaque on in their room.
Yep.
Okay, so we talked about the Fizz and Blitz relationship thing.
But I feel bad for Fizz for being scared of going outside and stuff. He might have already been.
I just learned I don't like going outside.
I know, but I think that scared him even more. He may have already from the accident maybe not going out as much. Now he's like, don't worry, I don't like going outside. Then Osmode's like, you're never going out with anyone there. I mean, I get it. He's being really protective. And then he's like, don't worry, I found that I don't like going outside. He's like, you won't have to again. I was like, and then I did know something for poor Fizz. He did look kind of sad there. I'm like, oh, I don't think the poor baby kind of meant he doesn't ever want to go out again.
That's true.
I don't know. think, you know, just I understand probably why Osmodeus is being very protective there. Like, Fizz was honestly really fucked up here and stuff. He got, like, yeah.
How did his arm get broken?
Yeah, because, well, like Jinxy did point out stuff. I did love that. He is literally, he's like when he points out stuff, he's like, I don't do this, I do this stuff, I promote product I don't use.
No, I don't use, that's a good one. I know a lot of
It's funny
YouTubers who do that.
I know, he's like, I promote product I don't use, and it was just funny that he used kind of slapstick stuff, like joke things
the
to
banana
hurt people,
peel
and they
didn't work.
He's like, this usually works.
So
It's like,
he's referencing like you know,
I know, and it
Looney
was,
Tunes
it
shit.
was hilarious because he's like literally running for his life through there, and I love that scene because he's running, only to slam into Blitz. I noticed and
That's
stuff. And this
adorable.
scene made me laugh hard when he slams into Blitz and he face plants into his butt, and then he pulled back with such a look of horror, like oh god. Okay, yeah. Anyway, that's what I noticed that made me laugh hard.
I just tossed the salad.
I know he's like, oh god, another man's ass. It's not Mossie's.
Oh, this is gonna kill me.
Oh no.
Yeah, Jinxy, you got anything to say?
I'm just, I'll be honest, you guys have brought up a lot of very good points, and I wish that they paid a lot more attention to what had happened in the previous episodes, and just kind of followed up with the aftermath of each one, positive and negative. And, I don't know, this episode was really good, and personally, how I feel, well, okay, it's mixed. I really liked it, but now that I think about it, the past few episodes haven't been that good, and I feel like that blinded me a bit, because seeing this one, I was like, oh, this actually feels...
Oh, I actually have one we really like.
Yeah, I have one I really like, and then now you bring up a good point that, as usual, they're not following up with what has happened in the past, and how that should be affecting the characters, or kind of pushing the story one way or another, but no actions have consequences in this, so of course not.
Oh. I thought, and also I'm just a little disappointed because I really thought that the plan of kidnapping Fizz, because I saw, like, I didn't watch the spoilers, but I heard, like, basic some of the plot that he was going to be kidnapped and held for ransom. I was like, oh, nice, Moxie's dad had been, like, premeditating this, and he hired Stryker, this is great.
It turns out it wasn't.
No, it was by chance, and it
then
was
Stryker
that
just
he
pulled
was...
them up through the window, randomly finding them.
And I want to talk about... I thought Moxie's dad was going to be a little bit more intimidating, but because...
Like,
we already discussed before that Moxie's dad's kind of a moron anyway.
It showed here he was actually
trying to
more
marry
of a
his
moron.
son off to some loser he hired before.
And also that somehow he didn't know that Chaz had, that he didn't know that Chaz didn't have all this money. It's like,
moving on from that.
only one time, dude, did we kind of
the only time that Crimson ever looked intimidating was looking at him through Moxie's childhood, where he was just a complete monster.
Or the times where he was being horrible to Moxie behind closed doors. But
And
he's an adult.
this guy just beats his wife, he killed his wife, he
still
abused his
slaps
child.
his kid around even as an adult. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and then here we go, and he's like, I'm gonna consider hiring you. Oh,
Why
wow.
is Stryker here then?
and Stryker here. I just don't really like Stryker anymore.
It's
Like,
like,
no,
yeah, he
not
was
throwing shade at Ed Bosco for
he
playing
was
him.
a
I
little
just
bit
don't
better in
think
this
his
episode,
voice
but still,
really
yeah.
fits the character. Just Miss Norman Reedus Stryker. It seems like he had a different personality, a whole different vibe and feel to his character that didn't care about royals and shit, and
It's
like
yeah,
this whole
I guess I like that
shit
point,
that he's really
like,
hung
kind
up
of the
on now.
royals and stuff, but it feels
it's like his whole character thing now.
It kind of feels like they went really into that with the royal thing.
I'm like, but dude, you're letting an imp talk to you like shit because
was
Crimson's like, hey, hick for hire.
I know.
Like, you take this shit
he's
from
taking this shit from
lower
people that
class
hire him.
imps that you can easily overpower, and yet you're griping about higher ranking demons.
He literally got hired by Stella, and I don't think he even talked this much shit about Stella either.
No, he never talked
Just
shit
saying.
about Stella.
Like, it's funny that the people that hire
In fact,
him,
he was like, she was like, hello, darling, and I feel
know.
like they were like just calling each other pet names.
It was kind of funny because yeah, he was still respectful to her in a way on the phone.
He was very respectful.
Like,
he didn't let his
he didn't talk shit to her at all. Like, he was not rude at all to her.
And now he's just like all he does is just talk about
But it just kind of
we're repressed We're repressed and
at the same time we're repressed, but I think I'm better than you imps here. Like, what are you? Pick a lane!
Pick a lane, Striker.
Do you think you're better than most imps? Because you're
You're
not.
letting Crimson talk to you like shit.
Because Rolly did make a point. He's like, if you think you're better than anyone, you are better than the Royals, and you really aren't, Striker. It's kind of the point. Poor baby. Like, poor Fizz. He literally just shows that he does not do violence at all and stuff, so he's in a situation where he is a hostage. He's not gonna get out of there.
Yeah, I think I got pretty much all my points out. That's all I got. What do you got, Jinx?
That's pretty much it. I'll be honest, you got a point. I find, like, with the voice of Striker being changed, like, no offense to the new guy, but admittedly, I do like his old voice, and it always had this kind of sting to it that made you more intimidating. That's always how I remember him.
Yes, because, like, okay, I don't know if you watched The Walking Dead, but, like, the show went on for more over than a decade, and we watched The Walking Dead, so we're very familiar with who Norman Reedus is.
Yeah.
We love the guy, and I was very happy to find that he was in it, and I just loved his voice, because it's like, because Norman Reedus naturally has that, southern accent, like, lilt to his, voice, and it's naturally gruff.
Dude, yeah.
So it fit very well, and it was very, just a nice, fresh face of a character.
But he was really different in the first episode we seen him, like, he was really, really different, like, there is a difference.
He flirted with Millie.
Well, there was
he flirted with Millie.
There's a difference in how his writing was, though, it feels like, because, like, I wonder sometimes if maybe Norman Reedus is still playing him, I think maybe if Norman Reedus is still playing him and I seen him like this and stuff, but I still feel like, oh, maybe this is just a natural progression of his character or not, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know, I just feel like, season 2 is when we introduced him again, they've had a lot of time to fully develop Striker's motivations, and I guess they came up with he's a repressed imp who comes from the Wrath Ring,
who's really into cowboy.
He's really into cowboying, and he's mad at rich people.
Yeah.
He hates rich people.
like I never got that from the first episode. Sure, he said one
I hate that.
thing.
It's such a cliche, don't you think?
It kind of is, because they're making fun of that he's a
It's
cowboy.
like he's like an evil Robin Hood.
That's a good point. That's a way.
Cowboy Robin Hood.
I guess in a way, but it's like he's
Kill for the rich. Kill. I don't know. Kill for the rich and kill for the poor.
I don't know. He said. I don't know. I guess it's just he's more in it for himself.
I just thought he was just a dude that didn't give a shit, and he just took the money or whatever he got, because he cared about two things: money and killing people. That was the two things that made him happy.
I kill women.
I was like, I kill women.
And
She
doggies.
a puppy dog.
And puppy dogs.
Cute
and-
faces. I'm like, shut up. Stop.
Dude.
You're annoying.
Why?
You're annoying me right now.
I know he was kind of like I see him in this episode, and he was probably better than in Western Energy, but I'm still kind of like watching him. I'm like, I don't like.
Yeah, but then he became completely unhinged at the end.
Oh my god, he was like,
He was savage.
And then the part where he's like, I'm tired of losing fights to you. I'm like, how many times have you met up with Blitz and lost fights? But going on,
You didn't meet the Blitz last time.
and he's like, I'm gonna break you like a horse. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just another countryism.
I know, but it just made me laugh. Okay, I guess Blitz's response makes me laugh more. So, don't you talk sexy to me, because he's got a thing for horses.
He does have a thing for horses.
And then, Fist, you're still on the horse thing?
I do love that line.
That made me laugh, where he looks and I'm like, you're still on the horse thing? And then Blitz is like, bitch, I like horses since I was a child.
You guys were playing with
They were playing
balloon
with, like,
horses.
balloon horses when they were children, so yeah. He's still on that horse thing.
Yep.
But yeah, he became really completely unhinged stuff, and it's just really funny.
And then we're gonna see him.
Everyone around him does something sexual, and it was really kind of funny. He's like, why is everything sexual?
Yeah, it's just really weird because
That's why I don't
he
take
straight
it
up
seriously.
broke Millie's arm and almost smothered Moxie and
He was gonna
Harvest
strangle
Moon.
him out, and also in Western
It
Energy.
was relatively easy.
Western Energy.
And he was introduced as a hired hand on Millie's
I know.
parents' farm, so I feel like he was just kind of already there. It's just really weird. The setup was, I'm like, wait, he's a hit for hire from Priscilla,
Yeah,
and somehow he's working with Millie's parents, and the person who's going to actually show up here today is Millie herself.
So did Stella like that? Yeah,
Sorry,
this is where I
I'm
think-
griping about Harvest Moon now.
Yeah, because it was like Stella, like, you know, so they kind of dumped down Stella, but it made it seem like Stella knew what she was doing if she was putting him where her husband would be. Maybe she, like, knew that, but now I don't know, because she's...
I understand
You
if he
know.
was using Millie's parents as a undercover to, obviously because he had like a perfect shot throughout the window of their farm.
Yeah, because he was staying in their house. Foxy somehow went up the stairs and stuff and found Striker's room. He was staying in their house, and then he found an angelic weapon, Moxie.
Okay, we have to save this for another day, because
I
I was
know,
talking
yeah.
about Harvest Moon, but I still love Harvest Moon.
I still do because, yeah.
And
he
everything
was,
that Striker for who he was in that episode.
Yeah, because he was incredibly different there.
He was very menacing, very scary.
Yeah.
Like, you get the point across of what this character is and what he could be, and now he's just this dude who just hates
Yeah,
rich
he
people.
kind of is just kind of made of a joke because I didn't. I
He is made of a joke because of what the country is and
the country thing they made fun of is stuff like the cowboy thing. I'm like, I don't understand why they're making fun of the cowboy thing. He fit.
I feel like if
at Wrath.
Marita played him, he wouldn't be like, I'll break you like a horse.
I'm gonna break you like a horse. Whip just pulls up, rope tight, with a snap
Oh,
sound.
but we're gonna be seeing Striker get scarred now?
Maybe.
He like fled like a little creature.
Kind of, yeah, but kind of how the show goes, but being inconsistent, I don't expect him to maybe look scarred. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess those are scars on them now. I just always thought it was like some sort of piebalding. You know, like
Yeah,
you
it
see
was
on
actually a
Dalmatians
shock. It was a
or
shock for me
cows.
to find out that Fizz's whole face is actually scarred completely like that.
I'm sorry. I know Jinxie's begging to say something so soon.
That's okay. I can. It's funny. I know. It's funny how you can sense it. Yeah, I feel like everything.
I feel it.
Yeah, the deterioration of like Striker. It's sad because it feels like it's a way for the plot to force in the whole thing between, I don't know, the problems between imps and the higher ups. It really feels like that's just taken up his entire character. He's like I guess the more extreme end of the conversation, and it's not done very well. It just feels very forced. And on top of that, like,
Shut up, dude.
yeah, I know, right? And they've just kind of either, and on top of that, if we're supposed to take him that seriously, then why if they turned him into a joke?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't take you seriously. You make me laugh. It's not the funny way.
Make me laugh. In a good way.
No. I just go like, I'm like when I see him, I'm like, I'm like, stop it with your problems with rich people. Stop being hired by them then.
Yes, if you hate them so much, stop being hired by them.
Stop taking shit from people you're hired by, because he did. He did take shit from people being hired. It's going back to that. But
I'm like,
anyway,
dude,
moving
like, I
on.
feel like if that was Harvest Moon Striker, it's like, I consider hiring you. I'm like,
He's like,
I
well,
feel like
fuck
he would have
you
just
then.
reached over the table and he's like, bitch, who even said consider hiring me? You're hiring me.
He's like, why am I even here? Like, yeah, because it's like, why was he in that room? If like, what did Stryker come there? Did Crimson roll out
And
there?
he's
We don't
there.
know.
It's like a job. It was a weird job interview.
I know. Yeah. So
Okay.
He proudly stated he kills women, children, and puppies.
Puppies. That's good.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. My notes are gone. I'm depleted.
I think we've made very.
We
good
went off
points
topic
here.
so far now. People
Yeah.
are gonna probably click out of the video.
Probably.
I think you had a lot of good points, and to be honest, I
This is a review of the episode / Striker rant.
Stryker still bothers me. He will continue to bother me.
All right.
sounds like a good title in the making.
Yep. All right. I'm Boonedoggle, and this is Skullduggery. With our lovely guest Jinxy, we're gonna bid you guys farewell. So bye bye, booches.
Stay beautiful.
Bye.